Okay, welcome back to Banksy's Kitchen. Today we're going to do a slow cook beef brisket with a Cajun mushroom sauce. So we'll get all the brisket into the slow cooker because it takes about roughly 8 hours to cook. So we're going to take half an onion, the other half we'll use for the sauce. So we just chop this up. Just rough. Straight in the crock pot. Celery, about 1 stick of celery. Again, just rough. It's more for the flavour than anything. And then the brisket. We're just going to cut it into pieces. There's probably about 200 grams, 250 grams there. That'll be enough for 2 people. We're going to use mashed potato and broccolini at the end. A couple of cloves of garlic. If you just cut that root end off, it's so much easier to get the skin off later on. Just whack it with a knife. Skin just peels off. Rough chop the garlic. Nothing too special. Into the crock pot. Next, some vaquita. Probably a teaspoon. Some soy, probably 2 tablespoons. That helps give it colour and also flavour. And some red wine. So, because I don't drink, I've just bought a box of wine, which I believe is reasonable, this one. We probably want to put about a cup in, I'd say. So, until I'm not used to it. So roughly a cup of wine. It's not quite a cup. Right, so it looks like that. Let's put that in the slow cooker. And then tonight dinner's ready. All right, so we're back. We're going to prepare the mashed potatoes. So we just take a few spuds, cut them up. Don't peel them. All the flavour's in the skin, so as long as they're washed potatoes. Just chop them up, put them in the pot. Okay, so we put them on the stove, cold water, and I'll get back to you once we start the sauce. Okay, we're back. So we've got onion chopped up, half an onion, a couple of cloves of garlic chopped up. We need some streaky bacon, just cut into thin slices. And we've got some mushroom. So the mushroom, we're going to chop up very small. So just slice that up, around this way. So this one we do want to make it small. So you don't want too big a chunks of the mushroom, because it's going to be part of the sauce. All right, we've got some Cajun spice. So we'll get this into the pan, I'll get back to you. Okay, so our wok's on, the oil's in it, it's hot. So we're going to put the onion in and the garlic. Oops, just fry that a little until it's probably half cooked, starting to become opaque in colour. Then we'll add the bacon and the mushrooms. That'll take a few minutes. In the meantime, we've got our spuds boiling away and the mash. And I'll get back to you when I add the bacon and mushrooms. Alright, so that's getting a bit of colour in it now. So add the bacon, add the mushroom, cook that up a little. We can add some Cajun spice to that. Now, before you add the Cajun spice, taste it because it's quite spicy. Some aren't that spicy, but some are. This one is. So I'm just going to put about, probably half a teaspoon in. Fry that up a bit. You can smell the flavour from that Cajun, it's quite good. Just going to have a taste of that. And that is spicy enough. Next what we're going to do is add a little bit of red wine. So this stops the frying process. And it's probably 2 or 3 tablespoons. Cook off the alcohol. Let it simmer for probably 2 or 3 minutes. And then we'll add the rest of the sauce. I'll get back to you then. Okay, so we've got our beef brisket and it's cooked. So we gently take it out of the crock pot. It was ready about half an hour ago. I just turned the crock pot off. And it took about 7 hours to cook. So we'll take all that meat out. A little bit of celery in there. That's fine. Now what you can do if you really want to is you can blitz up the celery and the onion and everything and put that into your sauce, but we're actually going to strain it. So I'll just grab it. I'll get back to you when I'm at that stage. Right. So that sauce is now, all that's fried just about dry. So I'm going to add the stock, which I'll strain. That goes straight in there. I'm not too concerned about some celery getting in. And we just let this simmer for probably 5 or 10 minutes, gently, because you don't want it to boil dry. If it starts getting a bit dry, just add a little bit of water to it. Once this is done and all the flavours have infused through, that's our sauce. We just slightly thicken it with some potato starch. I'll get back to you when we're just about done. Okay, next job is the broccolini. So I just cut a little bit off the ends, just in case they're dry on the ends. Cut it in half. I've already washed it. Put it on a plate. Cover with plastic. 2 minutes in the microwave, done. Perfect. Stays nice and green. So, and while that's happening, that's prepared, we'll have a look at the beef sauce. And what we're going to do, I'll put a little bit of potato starch in water, about a teaspoon. I'm going to tip that in there. Just slightly thicken that up a bit. If it's too thick, add water. And that looks like it's pretty good. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the beef back in to heat it up. Yum. Don't mix around too much because you'll damage the beef, because it's quite tender, it'll just fall apart. So we'll turn that down really low. We'll give that about 5 minutes and it'll be hot. In the meantime, you can cook the broccolini and mash the potato. We'll get back to you when we're serving. Alrighty, spuds are ready, so we just mash them up. So just get yourself a masher. If you haven't got a masher, you can use a whisk. Now, I'm quite happy to have them just, they don't need to be super smooth like most people. And with the skins on, you're not going to get them that smooth. So just a rough mash up. When I drained them off, I probably left about a tablespoon of water in the pot because that just makes them a bit softer. Now, butter, only use butter. Don't use margarine, only butters. And be generous with it. Put plenty. Tastes great with butter in it. Just give that a mix around. So that's coming up beautifully. Okay, that's done. We'll get back to when we're serving. Right, we're serving up now. My wife's having quinoa. I'll be having the mash. Broccolini's ready, nice and green. Take your brisket. So it's beef brisket with Cajun mushroom sauce. Look at that, that looks sensational. On the mash. Broccolini on the side. Plenty of broccolini, they're good for you. And there you have it. Enjoy.